Guys, I'm sitting here and I'm going through this, running through this job here, this change out, and it looks like, I put that thermal zone picture up on Instagram because I like the guys at United Refrigeration, so I would want to buy from them because I like them. But whenever I called in and talked to my brother, because he sells a lot of ream and got ream pricing from him, it turns out that the ream prices were lower than the knockoff prices, which is something you guys have to be aware of. A lot in the HVAC world, you think just because it's a knockoff is going to be cheaper, but it's not true. That's the reason why I wanted to call in on the ream. Sometimes you'll have something that's cheaper, but typically if you're using those knockoffs, like let's say you want to use Payne instead of Carrier or Bryant, if it's sold at the same supply house, you'll probably save some money. But if you're at a place that only sells the knockoff, but no other brand, it might be just as expensive as the actual brand it's copying. And I don't blame United for this. I love those guys, so it's a real shame, but I'm going to have to probably get the ream because, first of all, it has a notoriety. People recognize it. So if it's anywhere near the price of the knockoff, you have to go with the brand. And these people want something nice anyway. So I'm not going to start them off with some brand that no one recognizes, even though I know that it would be fine. So, and something else that was funny, I'm sitting here at my desk, and the very first email that I get as a business, to my business email, which is Ciota HVAC, it's from Home Advisor. Can you believe this stuff? Look at this crap. I'm not going to use a screenshot because I'm stupid and old, but Home Advisor, very first email. Let me go ahead and hit that button. What does that say? Unsubscribe. Bam. There we go. Perfect.
HVAC Shop Talk is brought to you by Refrigeration Technologies, the very best in HVAC chemicals. Whether you need coil cleaners, thread and gasket sealants, or a way to apply your coil cleaner, and much more, use Refrigeration Technologies. Find out more at refridgetech.com.
I bleed for my money, day in and day out. I try to give you the things you deserve.
We are at our job here. I'm going to take these caps off, close up the liquid line so I can pump things down into the condenser. That way I can separate the condenser, go ahead and get it disconnected, except for turn the low voltage off. But I guess it really doesn't matter if I blow the fuse, does it? But I don't like to do it for some reason. So I'll go upstairs and shut the power off to the air handler, disconnect this, disconnect the air handler, and our goal is just demolition, get everything out of here, and then we can start planning on going back and see what we need. Got to catch up with the neighbors over there. They got a brand new unit, so we're extremely jealous. Go ahead and have it ready. Gets down to around 10, we'll start shutting it down. Hey, got a vacuum pump now. Stay on there, man. So we have our duct system here. Nice long straight pipe run. Electrical connections, low voltage, high voltage. Still running because it's set in air conditioning. Our drain, we're going to cut that stuff off. And we'll probably go into the top of a box for this return flex. They give us a box so we can drill into and test. That's what we need. So I'm going to start disconnecting this stuff. shut the power off, take the power out, all that stuff. And I'll let you guys see it on the flip side. Make sure I get my drain remover fitted in there properly. There, guys. So I disconnected my lines. They're set up out of the way here. My thermostat wire. Luckily, there's a whole bunch of extra, so that's perfect. And I got them lines cut away. Got the drain removed, as you saw, skillfully. Cut about a foot off the insulation there so I can get to all the connections here. I'll take all those off. I can cut the flex off. I don't have to bang out the collar or something like that because I'm going to cut it off shorter because I'm just going to go into a top of a box. So we're going to have extra room right there. Then I'll open up the panel here and take out the high voltage in case the electrician wants to reuse it. And I can just cut off the low voltage and throw it in the trash can because we don't have to undo these connections or anything like that because we have plenty of extra wire. So no worries there. So I got my coil taken out. The baffle plate's looking... It's been better. Got a blower in there I gotta take out, gotta get those nuts off of it. I'm gonna get a socket set to get that off, and then I can take this whole thing out of there. It's actually going really fast. Either I'm really awesome at this or I forgot how quick this is supposed to go. I think it's the second one. Well, I got my air handler out of the way there. Downstairs, got some extra pieces there, the doors, the drain pan for the coil, the blocks it was sitting on, and the P-trap. I let the drain pan out because it had some water in it, so I'll let it dry out because we're going to be here for a couple days. I'm going to come up here and sweep things up. I am going to pressure check the lines just to double check and make sure that they're good to go. And then I can disconnect the outdoor unit too during that process. I'm cleaning out the piping here. High voltage disconnected, low voltage disconnected. And I'm going to put some ports on here so I can pressure test these lines to make sure there's no leaks in these lines. There was some siding work done in this house, so I just want to double check just to make sure that we're good to go, because I'm going to be finishing up tomorrow, so we'll have an overnight leak test on these, which will be a good thing. It's just better safe than sorry. So I've sandwiched the lines shut here so I can pressure test them from the outside. So I'll go ahead and put some pressure on them, put the Z manifold on it, kind of see how it holds. I might go run and get the permit or something like that and go have a snack while I'm waiting for some equipment to arrive. Well, I'm heading over to the county inspections office to see. The big question is, for some reason I think they only take checks, and I don't have any checks with me. I have a debit card, so we'll see if they take the debit card. I don't know what kind of memory that is, if that's faulty or not, but I just stopped at a supply house somewhere that I actually have been many, many times, and I have this feeling that I just got absolutely raped on pricing. I'm not going to mention the pricing or the supply house yet. Hopefully I won't mention it in the video by accident, but just, well, whatever. So we'll see, because it just feels like the pricing was way higher than I recall. So I'm going to do some comparison, and I'll let you guys know if that's the case, and maybe they have me on the wrong pricing multiplier or whatever, or maybe they put me on the damn homeowner multiplier or something. That's what it feels like. So we shall see. Stay tuned. Well, I'm sitting here outside of the permit office. I got my permit. It's right down here. I feel good about things now the government is watching over. I know everything's going to be all right, guys. That's one thing I believe. The government's got all the answers, guys. All right, guys, I have my ream air handler up here. Not quite in place. We have it sitting on the foam blocks in the drain pan. Gonna have to adapt the duct connections here. Put our box on the back, which is right there. So I'm gonna kind of turn this around here so I can put the box on the back, then push it over there. I can put the collar in after I'm done. Slide this thing up, maybe put flanges here. We'll see if I can't just flange it out and put it on there. See what the difference is. I think there might be a little bit of difference, but not a whole lot. I might have to kind of break it up to create a slant. We'll see what happens. I was able to get a screw, obviously screws on the top and back side. That was pretty easy, but I ended up having to put one down on the inside through here into the flange that's bent this way to make sure we had enough screws. I didn't want to put ones on the bottom because it's a strong joint. It's not going to buckle, and it's going to cause people that have to work on this thing an immense amount of hatred for me, and because that might be me, I don't want to cause that hatred. So I have to tape this thing up. We're going to get a collar in the top of it. We can put the collar in it now. Then we can kind of slide it around because we'll have some flexibility with the flex. And then I can adapt it to this ductwork here. And we'll be well on our way to powering it up and at least testing the blower and also testing the heat strips. I have my box put on with tape on it. Don't have the collar on it yet. I'm drawing up some marks here, and the reason why I'm doing this is I'm going to take this triangular area here on the top of the duct, cut through here, fold it up where it makes kind of like a beveled fitting here, so it goes up into this like that. It has a flange that folds over on top. Same thing on the other side. Then I can put a piece on top, and it can be wrapped tomorrow. I've got some insulation at the shop. I'll bring it up here for that tomorrow. I had to bring a piece of metal out of the truck, which I did bring to complete the fitting, but I'm just using the existing duct to do as much of it as possible. Alright, we got our sheet metal fitting in place here. I had to put a top on it, but as you can see, I bent the sides up. I wish I would have been a flange up here, but I forgot, or I actually cut it off before I had a chance to think about it. But I'll just build a piece here that has a flange up here, down, and a flange here. If I had a piece of S-lock, I'd put it right here, and it'd be best to have a piece of S-lock. I don't have one on me, so we're just gonna have to be real careful we don't make it dip whenever we're screwing it in. S-lock's real good for that sort of thing. So, gotta tape it up too, and then we'll be putting the return duct on, getting the wiring connected, so we can run in emergency heat in fan mode.
I wish I had my 608 for something I would do. I would not have that blue can no more, that new 22. I wish I had that sweet green can, I'd use it all the days. I'd take that blue thing from my truck, yeah, I'd throw it all away.
I've tied in the high voltage wiring and tied in some of the low voltage wiring just so if the homeowners want to, they can run the emergency heat. And I have the green. I went ahead and tied in the Y just to make sure we get a Y fan speed if they just accidentally put it into heat instead of emergency heat. And then we have our W1 and W2 tied together. We have our 24 volt hot fan and our common. So I have to go downstairs and rewire the thermostat to make this work, and then we can try out the heat strips and the blower. Testing power at the disconnect coming in. Got 248.3 high voltage there. So I just want to make sure our voltage was good. I can take our amps here, close the door on the air handler to make sure there's no interference because the static is so different when the door is open. So our blower amperage waiting for the heat strips to kick on. Just trying to get emergency heat overnight. Nothing kicking on yet. 0.6 amps. We have 5 kW heat strips on. Thermostat's being a little jinky. That's fine. Whatever. Maybe it's the wire nut connection. I don't know. It is working now. The smell was real. We're gonna let it run for about 3 to 5 minutes here, then we'll shut it off, make sure it shuts off normally. Go ahead and burn that stuff off of it. Tomorrow I need to insulate my duct fitting. I need to finish up the low voltage wiring, set the outdoor unit, tie in some copper lines, tie in some drains. Plenty of work left to go. So I'm heading home. Day one of the change out is over. We did get the air handler up and running, kind of not fully wired low voltage wise, but wired enough where we could run the heat strips, run the blower. So that was good to go. So what was the good and bad of today? Well, the good was that the job went smoothly. Finally got that equipment in. My brother was MIA for a little while. He had some meetings. So I went over to an unnamed supply house to pick up some stuff for the job. Got the drain pan, foam blocks, things like that. So I was satisfied with how the day went. I enjoyed myself today installing the system. The negative was I actually did get a call this morning. It wasn't on video because I was standing downstairs with the homeowner looking at thermostats on Amazon. And I got a call, and evidently, you see guys, there's a little bit of backstory here. Over the last few years, even though I've been very happy with my podcasting career and just happy in general, I've noticed a little bit of decline in my healthiness, which one of the reasons I am enjoying being back in the field is, oddly enough, I think it's more healthy to lift, crawl, and all that stuff than to sit at a desk doing podcast stuff. I mean, I love it, but I got to get up from there and do some other stuff. But I got some readings back from the doctor, and it wasn't, catastrophic or anything like that, but it did lean toward the fact that I needed to lose some weight, which is a good idea, get moving, which I'm trying to do, or else I'm gonna be basically stroking out. And that's an embellishment, of course, but the idea is that I do have high blood pressure, and when I went into the doctor the other day, it was extremely high. It was 180 over 105, which is very, very bad. So I'm going to pick up some blood pressure medicine on the way home, and I'm going to try to eat a little bit healthier, do a little bit of keto, and get my weight down. I've already been on the keto-ish diet, having less than probably 20 grams of carbs a day for the last 3 or 4 days. So what I'm hoping is that this will drop some pounds, get a little bit healthier, live a little bit longer. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm trying to do, guys. I wanted to kind of wrap up this first part of this video talking about this, setting some goals in the personal arena, health-wise. So stay tuned for part 2 of the video where we finish the whole job, get our inspection. I don't know what all is going to be on the next video. Maybe all that stuff, getting an inspection and finishing the video, testing out. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.